What age did you realize Santa isn't real? What? He what? Santa is in the North Pole. Eyes. Since I was 5. I told my parents about Santa like 8 weeks after I came to America. I come home from school and tell my parents of what the kids are talking about in school. Santa. And they said he's not real. He was real before but not anymore. The next day I told the kids at school, half of them were crying. I was surprised and I was wondering why. 63. Older than I'd like to admit. Lol. I was 10. I woke up in the middle of the night to get some water and I saw my family taking bags of Christmas presents into the living room. My mom saw me and she had to explain to me about Santa, the Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, etc. 10. Maybe 11. I just was a dumb kid who wanted too much. And thought that I would get everything I asked for. With everything ending in huge disappointment. I didn't even write a letter to Santa, as I deemed it unnecessary. Because I thought, if he knows I'm good or bad, then he either can mind read or he just watches everyone. I actually don't remember, maybe it's because I grew up in a country where Santa wasn't too big a deal or the fact that I just seemed to stop caring about Santa. My mom told me when I was 4. Santa is real. I saw him break into my house once. Smiley face. Either 5 or 6. We never had Santa here, so. Also, Saint Nicholas of Myra is pretty much real and dead. Removed. Since I had awareness. 35. He isn't? Look of triumph, loudly crying. I saw him in my shopping center? Exclamation mark. I was 12 when I was told he isn't real. We had gotten an elf on the shelf and I was absolutely terrified of him, so my mum told me she was the one who moved it. I was relieved, but it soon clicked in my head that if the elf wasn't real then Santa wasn't either. I want to say I was about 7. I was snooping around the garage and found the wrapping paper that only my gifts from Santa were always wrapped in. I kept up the act until I was like 11 so I could get more presents. Turns out I didn't have to keep it up that long because I'm almost 18 now and my parents still give me a gift from Santa every year. 9 to 10-ish, however, it took me a bit to put 2 and 2 together. He's not? I was about to turn 5 and decided the math just did not work out for visiting that many houses in one night. Also, why does Santa have Dad's handwriting? Here in the Netherlands we have a holiday called Sinterklaas. And the Santa equivalent of this holiday is the man of the same name, who actually formed the inspiration for Santa Claus. Nowadays, there's quite a few children who celebrate Christmas instead of Sinterklaas. But back when I was a little tyke this was pretty rare. As such, I never actually believed in Santa and he was just similar to the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy. To me, something you hear about in stories and see on TV or in books. But you never actually get told they're real by your parents. As for Sinterklaas, I never actually believed in him. I very vividly remember asking my mom one day if he was real. And she just told me she'd tell me while I was 8. Sure enough, that's when the truth got revealed to me. I was not surprised. 8 or so. My parents straight up told me and then used the fact I could stay up late to help bring out my brother and sister's gifts. They handled mine after I went to bed. And could eat the cookies and drink the milk to buy my secrecy. I was honestly happy with this discovery because of those reasons. LMAO. 11. When my parents just out of nowhere told me for no reason. It wasn't even near Christmas at the time. I was 9 and had a full-on breakdown. It was so bad now that I look back on it. I just couldn't believe I was being lied to my whole life and seriously thought a old fat man in a red suit gave me presents every year for being good. Sorta like a sugar daddy now that I think about it. I think I was about 8 to 10. I had gotten a Barbie dollhouse from Santa that year, already put together. I later saw the box for it in the garage while my dad was putting things in the attic. He was using it for storage. I didn't tell my parents I knew until a few years later. Though, Around 3rd, 4th grade. I cried in the garage for an hour. I was a stupid child. I was 7 or 8. One Christmas I had to use the bathroom, and when I walked down the hallway I peeked into the living room and saw my parents wrapping the same gifts that said, "From Santa." I still think Satan is real. When I was 6 to 7. I have many cousins. 12. So the parents would ask us to go in a room together and to not go out until an adult saw Santa. My father used to come in the room with Santa on the phone. He was calling one of my uncles but renamed the contact as Santa. Santa would ask us if we were naughty or not this year and then say that he dropped the presents in the garage. We would go and see our parents there with all our presents. On this Christmas, I wanted to pee really bad. So I left the room. I had to walk past the door leading to the garage. After I finished, I saw that parents were not in the house. I heard noises in the garage. I looked through the hole of the door. I saw every parents bringing presents from their cars to the garage, deciding where to place every family's. I was like, ooh, it makes sense, and carried on. I later talked with my 4 older cousins that night, and they told me they knew it for 2 to 3 years, but were asked to keep it secret for the younger. It was still a very good night. 10. I was 9. And my parents straight up did this whole cosplay thing claiming they tried to capture Santa during the night.